But you're losing by constantly refusing to dance with me. You'd be the idol of France with me. And yet you stand there and shake your foolish head dramatically, while I wait here so ecstatically. You just look and say emphatically,
not this season. Yes, there's a reason. I won't dance, don't ask me. I won't dance, don't ask me. I won't dance, madam, with you. My heart won't let my feet do things they should do. Yes, you know what? You lovely. So what? You still lovely. But oh, what you do to me. I'm like an ocean wave that bumps on the shore. I feel so absolutely stumped on the floor. Yes, when you dance, you jump in and you're gentle. Especially when you do the continental. But this feeling isn't really mental. For heaven rest us, I'm not asbestos. And that's why I won't dance. Why should I? I won't dance. How could I won't dance. Mercy be good. I know that music leads the way to romance. So if I hold you in my arms, I won't dance.
I won't dance, don't ask me. I won't dance, don't ask me. I won't dance, monsieur, with you. My heart won't let my feet do things they should do. You know what? You're handsome, and so what? You're handsome, but oh, what you do to me. I'm like an ocean wave that's bumped on the shore. I feel so absolutely stumped on the floor. When you dance, you're charming and you're gentle, especially when you do the continental. But this feeling isn't purely mental. For heaven rest us, I'm not asbestos, and that's why I won't dance. Why should I? I won't dance. How could I? I won't dance. Merci beaucoup. I know that music leads the way to romance. So if I hold you in my arms, I won't dance.
Yes, I won't dance. Don't ask me. I won't dance. Don't ask me. I will not dance, madam, with you. Yes, my heart won't let my feet do things they should do. Yeah, you know what? You kinda lovely.
And so what? I'm lovely.
But oh, what you do to me. I'm like an ocean wave that's bumped on the shores. I feel so absolutely stumped on the floor.
When you dance, you're charming and you're gentle, especially when you do the continental.
But this feeling isn't purely mental. For heaven rest us, I'm not asbestos, honey. Whoa.
And that's why I won't dance.
Oh, yes.
Why should I? I won't dance. How could I? I won't dance. Merci beaucoup.
Yeah, merci beaucoup.
I know that music leads the way to romance. So if I hold you in my arms, I won't dance.
Well, good morning if it's morning, good evening if it's evening, and good night if it's night. And a big hearty salam alaikum to each and every one of you that's listening to us live or will be listening to us in archives. Well, hello everyone. Of course, you're listening to It's 12 O'Clock Somewhere with Candelo Kimbisa. I gotta tell you, I am tired, but I am somewhat rejuvenated. How, you say, is that? Well, brothers and sisters, as you know, I celebrated my Ocha birthday on Friday. It was very, very nice, very enlightening. I want to take the time to thank everyone who wished me well and wished my guardian Rincha Shango Kabiosile, Maferefun Shango, and Yamaya, their blessings and praised them and came over and put it on social media and all those things there. I got to tell you that we also had a spiritual reunion. A wonderful white table spiritual reunion where Spirit came down, gave messages, and spoke to everyone. I gotta also congratulate the Pinot Nuevos, the new pines who've joined our house, our Munaso. They're wonderful additions to this house, and they were great. I also want to take the time to thank Pancho Ogun for inviting me to a wonderful guido, which is a drumming where they play with the calabash pods and shake them up, and that was for Oshun this weekend. It was very nice to be inside of a wonderful ile amongst all their godchildren. It was Sarita's house, and it was great. I actually loved it. I loved the guido. I loved the energy inside the house. That thing was on point. Well, that's what was going on in my weekend. I hope that your weekend was just as fine and dandy as mine. So while I gather my breath and start doing my things, well, you know what? It's Monday, and I wonder whether or not you paid homage to your ancestors, whether or not you placed a little water by your front door, whether or not you spoke to Eshu, Elegua, and all the other road opening and closing entities today. Well, you know what? It is not too late. Get on out there, put some fresh water on your doorstep, let the week come on nice and clean and fresh. Speak to your ancestors. Speak to Elegua. Speak to Eshu. And let's get this week started out right. Of course, you're listening to It's 12 O'Clock Somewhere with little old me, Candelo Kimbisa. And I'll be right back. Now that was Play at Your Own Risk by Boston's own Planet Patrol. Well, child, I do not know who needs to hear this, but somebody is gonna hear this today. Today's Tough Shit Tarot of the Day says, calm the fuck down. Despite of your best efforts to pretend otherwise, your emotions are bubbling up to the surface and are begging to be heard. If you cannot identify these emotions and express them in a healthy way, you want to make it out of this situation alive, try seeing a therapist, writing, or meditating. Be careful not to burn bridges by inappropriately taking out your feelings on the ones you love. Again, this is the Tough Shit Tarot of the Day. See, sometimes we see our inadequacies and our things as things that are outward, or outward things that are making our lives whatever they are. See, I am a proponent of, I think on, I meditate on, I pray on, that my soul is fixed, that I may heal my soul, that I may heal my inner being, that I may see myself as I really am, so that I can project that towards the world. As being a spiritual advisor, counselor, and practitioner, even I get in a slump. Even I get in that mood. Even I start feeling some type of way. Even I have had to go speak to someone about things that have been bothering me. About ego. About emotions. About these perceived notions of how a spiritual leader should act. Spend time with your ancestors. Spend time with your deities. Spend time mostly with yourself. Speak to self. Heal thyself. Because until then, everything is going to get on your fucking nerves. But who am I to say? I've only been doing this for a while. You're listening to It's 12 O'Clock Somewhere. When I come back, of course, I'll tell you a story or two. But until then, where did these angels come from? It's Monday, baby. Let's start this week out right. It's 12 o'clock somewhere. Get your lunch on. Maybe you need a liquid lunch. Your love comes in showers.
And every hour, you let me feel your loving power.
There's a rainbow under my shoulder.
When you came, my cup running over. You gave me your heavenly love. And if one night you hear crying from above, it's 'cause heaven
right.
You're a different
Girl,
girl.
I can tell.
When you're dancing,
You're my pillow, baby. Behind your pretty head, there's a halo big clown.
must be missing an angel. Missing one angel child. 'Cause you're here with me right now. My sweet little angel. My pretty little angel. I love you, love you, love you, love you, baby.
Well, that was Tavares with Heaven Must Be Missing an Angel. I sit here and think sometimes, and I think about humbleness and the works that people do spiritually and mundanely. I often think about the old spiritual work of cleaning someone's feet. How Mary Magdalene did it for Jesus, and how Jesus did it for several other people. Cleaning his feet with her tears and her hair, humbling herself before this man. And how an old conjurer people would clean other people's feet. Not only because it did the person well spiritually, but because it also humbled you as a worker. It gave you meaning to clean the less fortunate, to help the less fortunate, to help them on their path. So my story today comes from shortspiritualstories.com. The King and the Young Man. A king was very much interested in a young man who was always remained underneath a tree, sitting silently. Every night the king passed around the city in disguise to see whether everyone was right or not. He always found the young man sitting like a statue, without any movement. Finally, he could not contain his curiosity. He stopped his horse, and he said, "Young man, forgive me for disturbing your meditation." The young man opened his eyes and said, "There is no need for an apology, because I am not meditating. I am meditation. Nobody can disturb it. But whatever your curiosity is, please fulfill it." The king said, "I love you. I would love you to come to my palace. I will take care of you. There is no need to sit up under this tree. Seeing you so silently, like the ancient story of the Buddha, I have fallen in love with your silence, your gestures, your utter undisturbance. I invite you to come with me to my palace. I am the king." This is how the barbarous mind functions. The king asked the young man to come to his palace, inviting him. But deep down in his unconscious, he wants him not to accept his invitation, because that will mean he is still desires luxuries and palaces. But the young man stood up and says, "I am coming." Immediately, the whole scene changed. The mind of the king was thinking, "What have I done? This young man is still interested in the luxuries of a palace, being the guest of a king. This is not a great saint. This is an old idea of a saint, that he should be uncomfortable as possible. Discomfort is a religion, sick, hungry, torturing oneself in a dozen other ways. And then you become a saint." This fellow was certainly falling upon his sainthood, in the mind of the king. But now it was too late. He could not take his word back. It would be ungentlemanly. But the young man was watching everything. He didn't say anything. The king provided him with the best part of the palace, servants, young girls to look after him, and he accepted everything. With each acceptance, he was falling down the scale of saintliness. What kind of saint was he? He accepted a beautiful king-size bed. He accepted all the delicacies of the palace. The king said, "My God, what kind of stupid person am I? This man has deceived me. It seems like he has tricked me. Just sitting there every night. He knew I passed there at every time, sitting silently like the Buddha. He knew that I would be caught, and he caught me. And now it is very difficult either to swallow him or to spit him out. He is inside the palace." But how long would he carry such a state of mind? After 6 months, one early day in the morning, when they were taking a walk in the gardens, the king said to him, "One question has been continuously harassing me, and I want to get rid of it. Because of it, for 6 months, I have not slept well." The young man said, "You can ask any questions." The king said, "It hurts me to ask, but I want to know the difference. What difference is it between me and you? You live in a palace. You enjoy all the luxuries. What is the difference between me and you?" The young man said, "I knew that this question was going to arise one day. In fact, it arose the same moment I stood up to follow you. You are not a very courageous man. You should have asked immediately. Why waste 6 months? And for 6 months, unnecessarily disturbing your sleep. I can answer your question, but not here. You have to come with me outside the boundaries of your kingdom." It was not far away, a few miles, and a few miles was the river, the boundaries of his kingdom. The king said, "Why do I need to go here?" "You can answer me here." He said, "No, there is no need." Both passed the river, standing along the shore. The young man said, "My answer is that I am going ahead. Are you coming with me?" He said, "How can I come with you? I have a palace. I have a kingdom. I have a wife. I have my children. I have thousands of worries and problems to solve. How can I come with you?" The young man said, "Do you see the difference? I am going. I do not have a palace. I do not have a wife. I do not have problems. I was happy up under my tree and been happy in your palace. But more is less and less is more. My awareness is the same whether I am in a palace or in a forest." The king felt very sad at his ugly mind. He thought such an ugly thing. He touched his feet and he said, "Forgive me, even to think this. In my own eyes I have fallen." The young man said, "No, don't do it. Seeing your tears and you touching my feet, I have no difficulty. I can come back. But you will still start thinking, 'My God, has he deceived me again?' I have no difficulty, but so as not to be uncompassionate towards you, I will not come. Just let me go. The whole world is there. I do not need much. Just a tree to sit underneath. It does not matter at all to me." This comes from shortspiritualstories.com and it is from Osho Hayuko, the Everest of Zen. I hope you're enjoying today. And remember to humble yourself in front of others, in front of self, and sometimes even a king needs to be humbled. I'll be right back.
I want to tell you the natural facts that a man don't understand a good book right, and that's all. That's all. You know what? We got to have more love, more understanding every day of our lives, and that's all. Now, when you see folks jump from this or that, they don't know where the devil they're at, and that's all. That's all. They got to have more love, more understanding every day of their lives. I tell you, that's all. Blow it down, blow it down. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Oh, get down with it, get down with it. Listen, people fighting one another and think they're doing swell. And all they want is your money. And you can go to... And that's all. That's all. They all got to have religion now. I'll tell you, that's all. Now he can go to the college, go to the schools. Haven't got religion. He is an educated fool. That's all. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's all. We got to have more love and understanding every day of our life. And that's all. That's all.
Now that was Sister Rosetta Tharpe with That's All. Well, I want to read to y'all a little story that a good friend of the show wrote on her Facebook page. Dr. Marta Moreno Vega, who was also a guest on my old show, Candelo's Corner. She is an author of The Altar of My Soul, one of the very first books that really touched me when it came into someone's learning or path into Orisha and ancestors. So if you really want to do yourself a favor this week, pick up that book, The Altar of My Soul by Dr. Moreno Vega. Marta Moreno Vega, sorry. One of my all-time favorite books. And I think that many of you who have not read it yet would gain a lot from it. Well, she's been writing lately on the different Orishas and aspects of the Orishas. So today I'm going to go ahead and read a little something that she wrote about Shango. And I'm saying this about Shango because, one, it was my Ocha birthday, and two, it is so nicely written, and the way that she comes about and then gives a little lesson at the end of it. She says Chango had the power of divination given to him by Olodumare. He was unhappy with this power and pleaded Elegua to convince Olodumare to give him the power of the drum and dance. Elegua went to Olodumare and made the request, and it was granted. When Elegua shared the good news with Chango, he danced filled with joy and fetched the bata drum and played it. As Olodumare watched from heaven, he smiled and commented that Chango would soon realize that he now had the power of divination, dance, and drumming. Remember, as you move forward in the skills you have gained are not forgotten, but they are added to your new skills. These words are from Dr. Marta Moreno Vega. I hope that you all see this as a learning experience, because you choose to learn something else or to do something else. It doesn't mean that everything else you did was in vain. It doesn't mean that it was a burden to you. It just adds to your wisdom and understanding. Many years ago, I worked in a fish wholesaler as a quality control person at fish. There was a time where I grew to hate fish. I'd hated every little bit of fish because of all the fish I had to touch daily. But now, because of that one job that I had, I can tell you whether a fish is good or bad from 5 feet away. I can weigh a fish simply by picking it up. I can tell you 200 different species of fish. Although I have left that occupation behind, which at one moment I absolutely hated, it has taught me life lessons, and life lessons that I will never forget. So just stay still. Learn that other trade. Learn that other thing that would eventually make you happy. But what you're doing now will be carried, and someday you may be even able to instruct someone that is working in the fish business. I'll be right back.
Make it on your own.
Of course, that was Shalimar with Second Time Around. Hope you're enjoying your day with us today, because I surely am. This is It's 12 O'Clock Somewhere with little old me, Candelo Kimbisa. Let me tell you something, child. Let me tell you something. Something new has joined up and has pulled up on the horizon. I will be visiting the Motown Witch in Detroit. Yes, I will. Of course, I have the names and dates somewhere. It's Friday and Sunday. It would be July the 26th to July the 27th. I will be at the Motown Witch with Yvette, the Motown Witch, and of course, Miss Crystal. We are going to make these things work. We're going to be there giving classes. We're going to be there doing readings. And we're going to be there meeting all of you. So hopefully you guys will check me out on July 28th to the 29th, I believe it is. No, sorry. It is July 26th to the 27th. Meet us there. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, they are giving classes at the Motown Witch. You guys got to come in either for tacos and tarot or for this wonderful class they're going to have. It's called Detroit Hoodoo, Protect and Clean with Yvette and Crystal. It will be at the Motown Witch shop in Detroit. It'll be $31 per person. And hopefully, I just got off the phone with Crystal, and we are I'm trying to convince her and Yvette both to record these classes, okay? Because we understand, or we see the bigger picture. We see that a lot of people are not able to travel. A lot of people are not able to pick up everything and go to Detroit and go to Denver, Colorado, or go to Omaha, Nebraska, where we do these wonderful classes and speak to our friends, clients, and associates. So what we're trying to do now is, because we are in the internet age, and it's time for us to go ahead and bust those doors open, to have these classes recorded and then put in a safe place where people can take these classes and enjoy the teachings of the people like Yvette the Motown Witch, Miss Crystal, and all the other people that surround us. It is important that we put our word out there, that we make these things readily available for everyone. Well, there is something else going on on It's 12 O'Clock Somewhere. Of course, we're having guests each and every Wednesday. And this Wednesday, Freddie Guevara will join us to speak about his book, The Mesa Blanca. It's a wonderful book he wrote on spiritualism and meditation and things of that sort. He was on the old Candelo's Corner, but he's going to join us this week to talk about spirituality, to talk about spiritualism, and talk about his wonderful book, The Mesa Blanca, The White Table. So please do tune in on Wednesday so you can hear Freddie Guevara give his knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of this beautiful spirituality called spiritualism. He's been doing it for over 50-something years. I'm pretty sure that all of you will come around knowing something about this beautiful traditional practice. And next Wednesday, we have a special guest. Many of you know her from Facebook and her Facebook Lives and online, and she's been around quite a while also. Mambo Yanza will be joining us on the following week. She'll be talking about spiritualism, about the Orisha, and about how she thinks people should act. Mind you, I get such a good vibe from her every time I see her on her lives. Real down-home spiritual thought and thinking. Mambo Yanza joins us on the following week. And the list goes on and on and on and on. I'm hoping that if you know someone that you really would like to see or hear on It's 12 O'Clock Somewhere, you have them contact me. You have them contact me and we will have them on this show and we will do our best to broadcast it to the world. Because remember, one hand washes the other and both wash the face. This is a $12 billion a year industry, baby. I do not think, I know that I'm not going to put it all inside one pocket. This belongs to all of you. And if you're going to waste or spend your money on someone, I want you to spend it on the very best. So guys, we are coming to another end of a podcast. Remember that on Wednesday, Freddie Guevara will be here with us, and we'll be opening the doors to spiritualism. And, as always, may all the egoons and shadows that accompany you have all the necessary light. From where I, Candelo Kimbisa, sits, and that's it. Salam alaikum, everyone. Have a wonderful day and an even better week. Shake those waist beads, baby! It's 12 o'clock somewhere. We'll be back on Wednesday.
Uno, due, tre, quattro. Uno, due, tre, quattro. Uno, due, tre, quattro. Uno, due, tre, quattro.
Sanshi.
Один, два, три.
Ични Санши.
Один, два, три.
Ични Санши.
Один, два, три.
Ични Санши.
Один, два, три.
It's 12 o'clock somewhere is a production of Kimbisa.org and is brought to you by Ritualcraft, the Mile High Conjure Gala, the MotownWitch.com, and by listeners like you.